Welcome to In Nomine Domini. Each day we share the life of a saint to inspire faith and courage. Subscribe to walk with us on this journey of holiness. Saint John Baptist Rossi is a beloved saint in the Catholic Church. He is celebrated on the 23rd of May each year. John Baptist Rossi was born on the 22nd of February, 1698, in the small town of Voltaggio, Italy. His parents, Charles Rossi and Francesca Ann Fossi, were humble and deeply religious. From a young age, John showed signs of holiness and a love for prayer. He was gentle, obedient, and always ready to help others. John's family was poor, but they trusted in God's providence. When John was 10 years old, his uncle, a canon at the Church of Santa Maria in Cosmedin in Rome, invited him to study in Rome. His parents agreed, hoping he would have a better future. John moved to Rome and began his studies at the Jesuit college. He was an excellent student, known for his intelligence and diligence. John was also very devout. He spent hours in prayer and attended Mass daily. His teachers and classmates admired his humility and kindness. John felt called to the priesthood from a young age. He wanted to dedicate his life to serving God and others. At the age of 16, John joined the Roman College to continue his studies in philosophy and theology. While at the college, John suffered his first serious illness. He had an epileptic seizure, which left him weak and frail. Despite his illness, John remained cheerful and continued his studies. He offered his suffering to God and trusted in His will. John's health was always delicate, but he never complained. He believed that suffering could bring him closer to Christ. John was ordained a priest in 1721, at the age of 23. He celebrated his first Mass with great devotion and joy. John wanted to serve the poor and the sick. He began his ministry by visiting hospitals, prisons, and the homes of the needy. He brought comfort, hope, and the sacraments to those who were suffering. John's compassion and gentleness touched everyone he met. He listened patiently to the troubles of others and offered wise counsel. Many people came to him for confession and spiritual guidance. John was known for his gift as a confessor. He spent long hours in the confessional, listening to the sins and struggles of the faithful. He was patient, understanding, and never harsh. John encouraged people to trust in God's mercy and forgiveness. He reminded them that God's love is greater than any sin. John also had a special love for prisoners. He visited the jails of Rome regularly. He spoke with the inmates, prayed with them, and offered the sacraments. Many prisoners were converted by his kindness and example. John's ministry extended to the homeless and abandoned children of Rome. He helped provide them with food, shelter, and education. He worked with other priests and laypeople to care for the city's poor. John's life was marked by humility and simplicity. He lived in a small room and owned very little. He fasted regularly and practiced penance. He spent hours each day in prayer before the Blessed Sacrament. John had a deep devotion to the Virgin Mary. He prayed the Rosary daily and encouraged others to do the same. He trusted in Mary's intercession and often sought her help. John's health continued to decline throughout his life. He suffered from frequent seizures and other illnesses. Despite his suffering, he remained active in his ministry. He never allowed his illness to stop him from serving others. John's patience and perseverance inspired those around him. He accepted his suffering as a gift from God. He offered it for the conversion of sinners and the needs of the church. John was also known for his wisdom and knowledge of the faith. He taught catechism to children and adults. He gave spiritual conferences and retreats. Many priests and religious sought his advice and guidance. John was a friend to everyone, regardless of their status or background. He treated the rich and the poor with equal respect. He saw Christ in every person he met. John's reputation for holiness spread throughout Rome. People from all walks of life came to him for help and prayer. He was known as the Apostle of Rome for his tireless work among the poor and suffering. John's miracles were well known. Many people were healed through his prayers. Some were cured of physical illnesses. Others found peace and strength in times of trouble. John always gave credit to God for these wonders. He said, "I am only a poor servant. God alone works miracles." John's humility was genuine and deep. He never sought praise or recognition. He wanted only to serve God and his neighbor. John's life was marked by joy and gratitude. He was cheerful, even in the midst of suffering. His smile and gentle words brought comfort to many. John's devotion to the Eucharist was the center of his life. He spent hours in silent adoration before the Blessed Sacrament. He encouraged others to do the same. John's love for the poor was legendary. He gave away his own food and clothing to those in need. He organized collections to help the sick and hungry. John's charity was a sign of his love for Christ. He believed that whatever he did for the least of his brothers, he did for Jesus. John's ministry was not without challenges. Some people misunderstood or criticized his work. Others doubted his motives or made fun of his humility. John responded with patience and forgiveness. He never held a grudge or spoke ill of anyone. He prayed for those who opposed him. John's example of forgiveness inspired others to do the same. John's final years were marked by great suffering. His health grew worse, and he was often confined to his room. He continued to hear confessions and give spiritual advice from his bed. People came to him for prayer and counsel until the very end. John died on the 23rd of May, 1764, at the age of 66. His death was peaceful and holy. Many people came to pay their respects and pray at his tomb. Miracles were reported at his grave soon after his death. The sick were healed, and prayers were answered. The Church began the process of his canonization. John Baptist Rossi was beatified by Pope Pius IX in 1860. He was canonized a saint by Pope Leo XIII in 1881. His feast day is celebrated on the 23rd of May. Saint John Baptist Rossi is honored in Italy and around the world. Many churches, schools, and hospitals bear his name. His life is a model of humility, charity, and perseverance. Saint John's miracles continue to inspire the faithful. People pray for his intercession in times of need. Many have experienced healing and peace through his prayers. Saint John is a patron for those who suffer from illness, especially epilepsy. He is also a patron for prisoners, confessors, and the poor. He teaches us to trust in God and serve others with love. His example calls us to simplicity and joy in the Christian life. Saint John's love for the Eucharist is a reminder to all. He invites us to spend time in adoration and thanksgiving. His devotion to Mary encourages us to pray the Rosary daily. Saint John's life was a song of praise to God. His words and actions reflected the love of Christ. He reminds us that holiness is possible for everyone. Saint John Baptist Rossi, pray for us. Help us to love God above all things. Teach us to serve others with humility and joy. May your example inspire us to seek holiness in our own lives. Saint John, friend of the poor, pray for us. Saint John, humble servant, pray for us. Saint John, peacemaker and healer, pray for us. May your prayers bring us closer to God. May your life inspire us to love and serve. Thank you for joining us as we reflected on the life of this inspiring saint. Their story reminds us that God's grace is always at work, even in the most challenging moments. May their example encourage you to walk your own path with faith, courage, and compassion. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe and like in Nomine Domini, so you never miss a moment of inspiration and peace. Together, let's continue to seek holiness, one day and one saint at a time.